Hola a todos, esperamos que estén muy bien, les deseamos un muy feliz inicio de año y de este lado, desde Fundación Barqui y Comunidad Tenea, estamos muy contentos de empezar otro año juntos. Hoy de una manera muy especial, con la presencia de Ranjit con nosotros, este maestro de la India que en el mes de diciembre ganó el Global Teacher Prize, que su historia, que traía muchos años teniendo un gran impacto en la India, hoy se conoce en todo el mundo y va a estar con nosotros para inspirarnos, para compartirnos sus aprendizajes y también para dejarnos algunas preguntas para que sigamos mejorando lo que hacemos todos los días. Les agradecemos mucho que estén hoy con nosotros y con ansias de escuchar a Ranjit, le damos la bienvenida. Bienvenido, Ranjit, a este encuentro con docentes de toda América Latina.
Thank you so much, Augustine, for such a warm welcome. And I must thank Waki Foundation and Team Waki in Argentina. And I'm very much excited to speak here and to share my journey of experience, a journey full with so many happenings.
Well, welcome. I will continue in Spanish, but I want to give you a warm welcome and to thank you for your time and generosity. We know it's late over there, so much appreciated. Rajit nos acompaña desde la India, es muy tarde para él, pero no quería dejar de tener este encuentro y de darnos un tiempo para que podamos conocer más de su historia. Este maestro de la India que nos acompaña logró transformar la escuela de su pueblo, donde el nivel de asistencia era muy bajo, alcanzaba el 2%, y había un inconveniente con el matrimonio adolescente que era muy frecuente. Él trabajó para combatir esto, logró que su escuela fuera distinguida como la mejor del distrito. Los textos con código QR que él empezó a usar con sus alumnos se introdujeron en muchísimas escuelas de la India y él mismo capacitó a más de 16.000 maestros con toda esta metodología que estaba usando, que es lo que vamos a conocer hoy, que él nos va a contar especialmente. Ranjit, dado que vivimos en contextos muy distintos, quería empezar preguntándote cómo es ser un maestro en la India.
Now, being a teacher is the noblest profession here in India. Community respects teachers a lot. Even in the villages, parents always look for the guidance and advice from the teachers. So even some teachers in India took so many decisions of in terms of financial, where his guy should teach or who should marry with him or not. So it's moreover like teachers are always like a member of their family. Communities respect teachers, those who working hard, those who contribute to the community for their welfare and upscale the status of community. The teachers are respected. Those teachers only. I'm not talking about all the teachers, but the teachers, those who are working hard or contributing for the welfare of community, are respected here. So teaching is more ever like, as I told you, more the noblest job here in India.
Excelente. ¿Por qué te parece que fuiste elegido como ganador del Global Teacher Prize?
Oh, I think the jury might have gone through my profile. They might have read each and everything what I did. But specifically, I really think that the work that I did for the girls in my schools and the way I've transformed their life, and the transformation in my village, especially about the girls and the problems that I face and the solutions I come up with. that were really scaled up by the government as well. So I think just for now, I might be selected for my all-round performance or the innovations I provided, because I work for the teaching community as well. I work in schools with my students, and the solutions I provided, and the way I've used technology, that actually inspired other teachers a lot. So I think the jury might have considered my contribution not only in the teaching community but in the classrooms as well, with the community engagement as well. So all performance they might have considered, and they might choose me just because of these reasons.
Te vamos a preguntar más sobre estas experiencias que nos compartís, pero primero una pregunta más general que nos va a servir a todos de inspiración. ¿Qué es lo que hace a un gran maestro? ¿Cuáles son los atributos de un gran maestro?
To be very frank with you, I think every teacher is a great teacher. Everyone is unique in other sense. So it's not like these are the specific attributes, these are some of the qualities of best teacher, the good teacher, or the ideal teacher. I think teachers who are constantly work for the betterment of students, those who always think of his students, who loves his students, and always try to spark the curiosity and make them innovative problem solvers. He wants his students to become a good citizens of the world, and teacher who always try to change the life of his students. I think he would be the best teacher or the great teacher. But as I told you, everyone is a great teacher. We should not underestimate ourselves now. Ranjit is a great teacher and we are not. No, everyone is a great teacher. Just believe in yourself. You are the best teacher in the world. For your students, at least you are the best teacher for your students.
Muy bueno. El 3 de diciembre te enteraste que eras el ganador del premio y nos sorprendiste a todos, nos dejaste con la boca abierta porque decidiste donar la mitad de este premio que habías ganado a otros maestros que no conocías. Y eso habla de tu generosidad. Y estamos convencidos que la generosidad en la docencia juega un rol muy importante. ¿Cómo es esto y cuán importante es para vos la generosidad a la hora de enseñar?
Yeah, it's very important to teachers. As I told you, are generous in other senses. So teachers always work for the outcomes, not for the incomes. Incomes in sense, not for the money and other things. We always share our knowledge, experience, skills, everything with our students. So every teacher, by birth, by his profession, is a generous in that sense. So in terms of mine case, if you are as you told me that you are shocked, but I think this is not you don't have to look at me like I did extraordinary work. No, here in India it's a tradition of sharing and growing. So teachers always share, teachers always gives whatever they want. Teachers pay the fees of their students as well. They invest to set up the infrastructures. So I don't think I did anything different than this. Only thing is that I shared that prize money with other teachers, just because their work also matters a lot. And being a winner, I thought that if I could contribute, I could support their excellent work. They should continue. So, in what way I can support them? It's just to share that prize money, and this prize money will help them to continue. And whatever the projects in their mind, they will be utilizing that prize money for the betterment of education in their classroom, but in this country as well. Ultimately, I always feel that the world is my classrooms, and I work for the students across the globe. So who is looking for the great teachers, I'm there to help him. So all these 9 teachers will actually help me to move ahead to achieve my goal. So we all the top 10 teachers will work together to change the pace of education system and make this world a better place. So I shared that money for this.
Increíble, no, lo decís como algo natural, pero no deja de sorprendernos y te agradecemos esto. Es muy lindo escuchar esta cultura de compartir, que creo que es algo que tenemos que repensar en nuestros sistemas educativos, en nuestras escuelas, de manera permanente. Muchos de nosotros leímos tu historia y estamos queriendo conocerte más para hablarnos de la educación rural y de la escuela, del contexto de tu escuela. ¿Cuál es el mayor desafío que tienen ustedes hoy?
Talking about the challenges I face and what are the challenges right now I'm facing, I would like to take you back in 2009 when I started my teaching career. On 5th of January, I joined the Jila Parishad school in Paritavadi, and day one was really shocking to me. Oh, my classroom, my headmaster actually took me to my classroom and he showed me, Ranjit, this is your classroom, see how to teach here. And I just look at my classroom and said, Sir, are you sure this is my classroom? He said, Yes, it's yours. So I said, This is the cow shed. The buffaloes and cows and goats are there, and you're saying me this is my classroom. He said, Yes, the building and the premises belongs to government. It's your classrooms. You have to take it further now. Oh my God, I never imagined such a classrooms in 21st century. But another shocking thing was that parents were not complaining about the status of classroom. They were completely unaware about the educations. They never believed, they were thought of education can change their life. They can change the status. So problem before me were multiple. The first problem was that I tackled was the unawareness among the parents about the education. Second was that attendance of students in the classroom. Just hardly 2% students were attending the classrooms. And we know that the status of the classroom was like, if I ask you to come back to my school and the classroom is already being used at a cattle shed, so nobody would like to go there and sit and to learn. So that second problems I was facing about the in terms of attendance and talking about the social issues. The girls were not attending the classroom just because they were expected to take care of their little brothers and sisters at home. And girls were not expected to contribute to the family and to the community. They are just expected just like they just have to raise their little brothers and sisters and get married and let's go back to their home and then work and take care of his her husband. So this was the mindset of typical mindset of Indian villagers. And the third about academic performance of my students. So the school was graded at D level. Here in India, schools are graded like A, B, C, and D. D means it's the poorest performance of all the students. So these were the challenges I faced earlier. But I never lose my patience and confidence. I try to face these challenges. I try to overcome these because this is what I learned during the teachers training college. Just be confident, be and trust yourself. You can do. So this was the mantra in my mind, and I started my work even though surrounded by so many problems.
Muy fuerte porque también sabemos hoy, vos nos remontás al 2009, pero hoy sabemos todo lo que lograste en ese tiempo y es realmente admirable. Déjame preguntarte un poco por el momento en el que estamos viviendo de pandemia, ¿cómo fue para vos ser maestro durante todo el año pasado en este nuevo contexto?
The last year it was as a teacher, it was like full of new experiences. Earlier, we were prepared for these type of circumstances because most of the girls who were not attending my classrooms were still learning at home using the QR coded textbook that I specially created for them, to design for them. But virtual learning or the online learning was a part of my teaching, but it was like more occasional. Whenever we thought of inviting guest speaker, we invite them or through the online teaching method only. But during the pandemic, I had to shift completely from face to face to online teaching mode. And in it, as I was well trained for the online teaching, because I've been running my online classes at home at night, but the students were not prepared for this. Their style of learning, their style of engaging in the classroom was different. So they took some time to settle down, be comfortable. Even the problem of device availability was also mm, concerning for me. But with the help of friends and crowdfunding and from the different social responsibility of companies, it helps me to overcome the accessibility of devices. Once I make sure that at least a single students in a family had their own mobile devices, and then I continued my online teaching. But during the pandemic, I more focused on skill development part, not just the traditional way of teaching and completing syllabus, the textbook. So because students need to have the well habit of hygiene during the pandemic, it was really important. Second thing, I realized that the nature and the family were the safest source of knowledge for my students during the pandemic. And I started to take help of these most important stakeholder in education. How family, how his home can become a source of information, source of knowledge, and can become a educational center, and how nature can contribute, how we can learn from the nature. I designed some projects, and these projects could be completed with the help of family and nature. For example, I made an observation sheet for students, and they were just making a note how much water they have consumed, how much electricity was consumed, what was the temperature of their village. So they were collecting the data, making a note, and pointing it in observation sheet. Then at the weekend, we sat together online and discussing all the statistics and data they have collected, then analyzing the data. This was the most important skill as well. So one day I asked them, now just look at your data sheet and tell me when the temperature increases by 1 degree, so how much water and how much electricity uses increases. And then I started thinking. And then I asked them to make a plan of actions. Now just consider how much water is there in your village and how long you can use it. And if it wouldn't rain, so what should be the plan B, plan of action for them? So analyzing the data, they made their decisions. So I think thinking critically, analyzing the data, and making a decision. So these were the skills I developed through this project. So I think education cannot be separated from the community and the social problems. Education is like providing solutions to the problems that society is facing. Education provides the solutions. Students are expected to become a problem solvers. And I did the same thing during the pandemic.
Muy, muy interesante. Me queda esto de aprovechar la naturaleza, de entender que eso era algo que les agregaba valor a los chicos y en una situación nueva. Así que muy, muy interesante. ¿Qué lecciones te deja la pandemia? ¿Qué aprendiste vos en este tiempo de pandemia?
As a teacher, okay,
Sí.
okay. So as a teacher, I learned, yeah, yeah. As a teacher, I learned how to engage students through the online method. I learned how to use technology in a meaningful way so that it could lead to the authentic learning. I learned how to inspire other teachers. I learned how to become a good student or lifelong learner. I learned so many things during this pandemic. But I think as a teacher, I realized that I should be empowered with new techniques and new skills because I really felt I should be a teacher of 21st century, because I learned that students of 21st century are being taught by teachers of 20th century using that 19th century curriculum with 18th century techniques. So during the pandemic, I learned to become a teacher of 21st century. I should be more tech savvy. I should be more kind to my students. I should be understanding them more, the way their parents and family.
Déjame preguntarte, porque me genera intriga, ¿dónde aprendiste esto? Porque el tiempo, la pandemia nos sorprendió a todos de la noche a la mañana, no estábamos listos, y hubo que actuar con mucha autonomía, con creatividad, hubo que innovar. Contanos un poco, ¿hiciste algún curso? ¿Fue prueba y error con tus alumnos y sus familias? ¿Fue dentro de la comunidad de tu escuela, con otros maestros? ¿Cuál fue para vos el lugar de aprendizaje?
Yeah, yeah, it's not like a single platform where I learn these things. It's a multiple platform. I'm a part of so many networking communities and learning places like Microsoft Educators Community, National Geography's Education Community, and our teaching community here in India and Maharashtra is also working for the professional development of teachers. So these are the learning places where I learned so many things. I do participate in summer school in the summer vacation, and there I come to know new trends in education, new things and new techniques and new pedagogical aspect in the classroom that I should try. So being a member of community, it's really helping me as a teacher, because I realize that the problems in the classroom across the world are quite same, but the solutions the teachers from other countries or in other community are really interesting. So I just try to replicate or try the solution provided by other teachers in my classrooms. If it works, then I continue. If it is not working, then I try to re-innovate, edit it, and just make my own way of teaching. So it's like you make a group, you be a part of teaching community, share your problems. There will be so many solutions. Because in my classrooms, there are 27 editors sitting in front of me. And every day, they always try to find my mistakes. So I have to be very careful while teaching to them.
De eso se trata este encuentro. Estamos buscando, como vos decías, aprender de otras partes del mundo, de lo que están haciendo bien y llevarlo a nuestras escuelas. Nos están preguntando en el chat y los invito a todos a hacer preguntas para que le vayamos acercando a Ranjit. ¿Qué consejo le darías a los docentes de América Latina?
Yeah, the advice that I actually answered first, that be a teacher of 21st century. World needs and students needs teachers like those who are tech savvy, those who know how to use the technology, and world actually needs the teachers of 21st century. So my advice will be that just look at education, or look at this profession as a responsible, or the noblest profession, responsible. Take a ownership of what you are doing. You cannot blame students, you cannot blame administrators, you haven't provided these things. Just look at every situation on a positive note and have a trust and believe in yourself. So students always look for the good teacher, try to make them happy, and their smile will always inspire you. I'm actually selfish in that sense. I always like to see happy faces in my classroom, and to see that I do so many things. So I think my advice will be that just be a teacher of 21st century.
Excelente. Y esto de la sonrisa de los alumnos me lleva a la siguiente pregunta. Es un desafío hoy captar la atención de los estudiantes en un medio distinto. ¿Cuál es tu consejo o tu experiencia de qué has hecho para cautivar a tus estudiantes, para captar su atención?
So instead of explaining, I would like to show you. Just imagine I have some stuffs on my table. Just imagine, Augustine. I have glass, water bottle, lemon, spoon, and these things are there. Just like a glass, empty glass, and a water, lemon, and spoon. These things are kept on my table. Now, what we can do with these things? Tell me.
Lemonade, limonada.
Okay, lemonade. Okay, let's get started. What should I do first?
Poner el agua en el vaso.
Okay, I'll just try to pour it in glass. Okay, then?
El limón y revolver.
Oh, but I have to cut it, no?
Sí. Cortar el limón, exprimirlo en el vaso y después revolver.
But how do I cut it?
Con la parte de atrás de la cuchara.
Oh, this is not the way. This is not the way. I should have a knife to cut it. So you cannot cut it at the back of the spoon or other things. So how should I cut it?
Pero no tengo cuchillo.
Yeah, I don't have a knife, and you're saying I'm going to make a lemonade, but we are stuck here. We stopped here because we cannot make a lemonade just because we can't cut a lemon. No, tell me, what should I do now?
Pedir prestado un cuchillo.
It's not possible. I'm alone at home, and what is the stuff on my table? That's it. I don't have anything else apart from this. So whatever you are going to do, only with these things.
Me estoy quedando sin opciones y esto estaba fuera del guión, así que me va a hacer transpirar. Entonces no puedo cortarlo. Si no es con la cuchara, necesito ayuda de mi maestro.
Okay, just ask your community and teaching or teachers, right? Just write your answers in a chat box.
Ayúdenme en el chat.
It's $1 million question for Augustine. Just help him. Okay, when you say lemonade, I accepted your answer and I tried to follow your instructions, right? But you were stuck because you cannot cut a lemon with the help of spoon or the back of the spoon. It means the way you're thinking, it was not on the right direction. So now I'll say we cannot make a lemonade. Now think of different things. What else we can do? Now students will start thinking on a different note. And ultimately, what I'll say then, instead of cutting a lemon, I'll just try to put it in the glass. So ultimately, it will be poured or the floating, right? And what I should do with the salt? It's like I just put some salt in a glass. So when you add salt in a plain water and put a lemon on it, so it floats on a salty water. And especially I was to teach you a concept of density. So this is the way you have to engage your students in a virtual classroom. You cannot go with the face-to-face teaching like I put a blackboard on my backside and writing things and explaining. The lecture matter is not going to work on in an online teaching. It's completely different mode of teaching. And I just explained it through the example. I think teachers, those who are attending this session, might got an idea how to teach online. That's the answer to your question, Augustine.
Sí, no, no, seguro. Pensé que empezaba una clase de cocina, pero terminó siendo de física, así que muy, muy interesante y me hiciste sufrir un poco, pero muchas gracias, muy, muy bueno. Em, Déjame para ahorrar, seguir sufriendo y que me hagas otro ejercicio, déjame preguntarte por el vínculo con las familias, la relación con los padres. Vos contaste muchas veces que trabajás con padres y madres de tus alumnos para involucrarlos en la educación. Primero, contanos un poco de eso y después te quiero preguntar por cómo hacer para que la sociedad, no solo padres y madres, valoren más la educación. Pero primero, ¿cómo es ese vínculo?
Yeah, actually, I've been taught during the teachers training college that teachers, students, and parents are the three are the pillars of education system here in India. And these three pillars will actually should work together, joining hands. So when I went there in 2009, and as I told you, my classroom was used at a cattle shed, and the owner was not letting it alone to me. So it took 6 months for me to get back my classrooms. But during those 6 months, what I did a survey of entire village. I collected the data like what their educational status, what their economical status, about the culture, about the language, and everything about them. And there I realized, analyzing the fact that the mothers were more educated than the fathers, the fathers. So I decided to take help of mothers in the teaching learning process. So I started an initiative called Parents or the Community Engagement Program. I started to live in the Paritewadi. I shifted from my place Barshi to Paritewadi. I started to live with them. I participated in the family functions, had a tea, had a dinner with them, had a breakfast with them, tried to always be a member of the family. And gradually it helps me, and they were saying that this teacher is just thinks like us. He's a member of our family. And once they decided and they treated me like as a member of family, then I started to pitch a thought of education in them, how education can transform their life. I just set up some role models before them. I invited some girls, those who were doing good job, they're earning money. I invited them in the village, and they shared their experience, how education has helped them to get the status they have. So parents realize it, oh my God, this is the power of education only. And this teacher is actually helping us to do so. So only thing was that just to tell our kids to go to the school. Then the rest of the work will be taken care of, or the rest of the job will be taken by the teacher. So this is the way I tackle them. I never force my thoughts on them. I more believe in pursuing them. And it's more about accepting the thoughts of others. Acceptance is more important. If you just push them, they will just resist you. If you be there and tell them this is better than this, then they will start thinking. And you just have to push your thoughts, pitch your thoughts. And I did the same thing. I took help of them in each and every initiative. So teaching is not just about, it's not a role of a teacher only. It's a collective efforts of family and teachers for the betterment of students. Because students are there in the classroom just for 5 or 6 hours. And rest of the time they are in the community, in the society with the parents, their friends and other things. The impact of the society we can see in the classrooms, and a classroom becomes diverse in that sense. So I think the school or the education or the information they're getting in the classroom should be adopted, to be accepted by the society. And what are the problems and thoughts of society? It could be solved in the school. So this is how school system helps the community grow, and this is how the community helps teachers and students and schools to grow together. So it's a really famous phrase in India. I don't know how to say it in English or in Spanish, but it's like schools should be proud of their community, and schools should be supported by the community, and community should be proud of their schools. I just translated it. I don't know if you get a sense, but it's more like that. The community, villages should support education system. The support could be mentoring, supporting. It should be instead of setting up infrastructure, donating money, helping teachers, and any type. And schools should deliver the best results so that villages should be proud of the schools and teachers.
Muy bueno. Te voy a hacer una pregunta. Me parece muy claro la idea del apoyo mutuo, de la confianza y de estar orgullosos. Creo que hay mucho de lo cual tenemos que estar orgullosos de lo que hacemos en educación todos los días y también desafiarnos a hacer las cosas cada día mejor. Vos en muchas entrevistas hablaste sobre la evaluación. ¿Qué consejos nos podrías dar para evaluar de una manera más creativa y evaluar en este tiempo que es más difícil, pero que necesitamos saber cómo están nuestros alumnos, qué están aprendiendo para acompañarlos mejor?
Actually, I'm more liberal in terms of evaluation. I never go for the formal way of evaluation. When you use evaluation of students, it actually evaluation and testing of teaching as well. So I hardly set a questionnaire for my students. It's like it's like a blank paper to them, and write whatever you learn about mathematics, about science, anything. It's a part of my evaluation system. So students are expected to write each and everything that they have learned, that they have understood. And next day, I give them another blank paper, and they're expected to write down what they haven't understand. What is the difficult concept to them? What they are afraid of. So this is a clear and very simple evaluation I always tried. It's more of a child-friendly evaluation, a child-friendly examination. My students never afraid of being examined by me. They always like, sir, when you are going to give us examination, or when will we have the unit test? So they always like to express what they have learned, and the expression is there in their own language. It's not like answers should be in a specific set or specific keywords. We should respect their understanding and the way they are expressing during the examinations. So I think we should try flexible evaluation system. We should try to use different tools of evaluation. It's not just a written test. It may be observation sheet, the activities, the performance. So I always believe in performance badges and marks like this. So when you complete the specific activity, I just give them 10 out of 10, 6 out of 10 like this. So after completing 100 marks, I will give them some badges. It's a green, yellow, and silver badges. And at the end of a school year, every students have their number of badges, how many badges you have earned. It's evaluation of themselves and as a, and of mine as well. So they are not competitors of others. They are actually challenging themselves. What I can do better than earlier. It's a continuous it's a continuous process of uh, what you said, working for the betterment of ourselves. So try and keep trying. Evaluation is means for me in that sense.
Sí. Está claro, y como sabía que nos ibas a sorprender, te preguntaba el tema, porque no queríamos la respuesta formal, sino esto, una manera distinta y creativa de evaluar que necesitamos. Tomo una pregunta de Alejandra, que está en el chat, y nos pregunta, ¿cuáles son las habilidades que tenemos que fomentar en nuestros alumnos hoy?
That's very important question. What are those specific skills of 21st century? Always talking about the forces like creativity, communication, critical thinking. But moreover, I always emphasis on the development of problem solving skill and decision making skill. Because students are expected to be a problem solvers. Society expect from them, and if you are not going to give them the solution of what they are facing the problems, it means education is of no use of that. So I think these two critical and very important skills, that how we can make our students creative problem solvers so that they could contribute to the community, and how our students can make good decisions. Sometimes the decisions may be wrong, but at least let them to decide what they want to do. So I think decision making also should be on the basis of data. Just go back to my example, what I did during the pandemic, how I asked my students to make a note and mark on the observation sheet, and how I asked them to analyze the data. And based on their analysis, based on the analysis, they were expected to make a decision. So I think this is how we can develop the skills. Some students, some teachers might not be agree with me, but these are very important skills of 21st century. We should be developing, we should be keeping in mind to develop these skills.
Creo que tu respuesta me sirve a mí y nos sirve a todos, porque no es solo para los chicos que desarrollan esta habilidad de resolver problemas y de basarse en datos. Creo que todos tenemos que trabajar más en esa dirección, también de reflexionar sobre nuestro trabajo y poder mejorarlo todos los días y mirar los datos, mirar los resultados, mirar cómo nos está yendo. Así que nos viene muy bien. Déjame preguntarte por tus alumnos. Vos generaste con ellos un vínculo de mucha confianza y compartiste alguna vez la historia de una niña que fue a la universidad en un contexto en el que era muy complicado que lo haga, se recibió de ingeniera y hoy está trabajando. La pregunta es, ¿cómo podemos hacer para generar más confianza con los alumnos y entre los alumnos?
There is no any specific tip to generate the confidence and trust in students. It's your nature. The way you love, the way you treat your students in the classroom, they started loving you. I always help my students and support my students in terms of the financial and other things and needs when they were in the worst situation. The example you told to everyone, the Sakshi was a girl who actually did excellent work, and I never thought of her she will be graduating and doing a job in a multinational company. But the way she has improved herself, it's more important to me. I just shown her the path of opportunities. I just opened the window of opportunity for her, but actually she opened a door of opportunity for her. So it's like students are more enthusiastic to see the world and to grab the opportunity. Technology is actually helping students of 21st century to see the new opportunities and get the more and more information. Now, even sitting at home, many students now, not in my school, but other schools now, giving the lectures to their friends. So it's like they're playing a role of a teacher. What they have learned through the online classes, now they started to share their learnings with others. So this is how when you empower students, give them confidence, they respond like this. So I think that's the trust we should we should develop in the students. We should trust in their capabilities. We should we should not forget every student is unique. We cannot compare them with others. I'm different, I'm unique. Now Augustine is different and he is unique. He is very unique. He speaks Spanish very well. And I speak little bit English and Marathi. So we should respect others. I'm just taking example, Augustine. So this is the way we should treat the students and build the confidence and trust in them.
Oh, muy bueno. Entendiste que no hablo mucho inglés, hablo poquito. Gonzalo nos pregunta en el chat, ¿qué es lo que te motiva o qué te motivó a buscar este cambio en los alumnos? Y yo agrego algo, trabajando en un contexto tan complicado, debe haber momentos de desesperanza o de mucho cansancio. ¿De dónde sacar la energía o la motivación para seguir buscando esta transformación?
You know, guys, when I joined this teachers training college, I was devastated. I was hopeless. And only my father who actually advised me to join teachers training college. But teachers training college actually treated me and helped me how to overcome the problems you're facing. Now, talking about the energy, where I get this energy, as I told you, I'm very selfish man. I'll always like to see a smile on my students' face, and that actually energizes me. The smile and the expectations act actually source of inspiration and energy to me. I know there are so many problems before me, but the smiles always keeps me and telling me, Ranjit, work better and better for ourselves. I see the future of my students in their eyes and always motivating me and inspiring me. I should work for them because they needs me because they are living in a very different situation. But only education can bring changes in their life. And that situation always inspire me, energizes me to work for the betterment of my students because they don't have any alternative. Only education can change their life. And considering that importance of education, I always keep energized to see their happy and smiling faces.
Muy claro. ¿Cómo hacemos, Ranjit, para que esta visión que vos tenés y que nosotros compartimos de que la educación salva vidas, de que la educación inspira, de que la educación nos va a traer un mundo mejor y nos muestra las posibilidades de futuro, ¿cómo hacemos para compartir esta visión con los que no están en el mundo de la educación? Nosotros estamos convencidos, tenemos que convencer a otros de la importancia de la educación para que participen, para que inviertan, para que sean parte del proceso. ¿Cómo hacemos?
Yeah, education is the best investment as compared to the other sectors. Just like my father invested in my education, and look at the returns the education has given to them. This is just an example. Look at the example of Sakshi. Her father and I invested in her education. and look at the returns he has given. So it's in terms of investment of other, maybe the government and the billionaires and millionaires. I think it's like for the betterment of the world. We should make this world a better place for students, and for this we should ask the millionaires and billionaires to invest in, because they will be living in the same world. It's not like they are living on the Mars and we were living on the Earth. Ultimately, we all will be living on the Earth. So it's more about helping others and improving their status. So ultimately, this will help this world to become a much better place than earlier. So you can make your own houses, own factories, but what about the society? So we cannot separate ourselves from the society and from the education. So if you want to change, you can find the change in education system. That's where the changes are actually occurring. So education, I would like to request all those who are listening and all the richest peoples in the world, the millionaires and billionaires, try to invest in education in your respective country. Help students, those who are underprivileged, which we haven't unleashed potential in them. Especially girls' education does matter always. When you empower girls, she actually helps two families. So it's more like a double returns. So I think those who have the money, they should think of education sector as an investment.
Bueno, vamos a difundir y a seguir escalando este mensaje. Ranjit, vos estás al tanto, pero los que nos acompañan hoy no. Mañana se abre una nueva convocatoria para el Global Teacher Prize y empezamos juntos la búsqueda por el mejor maestro del 2021. ¿Qué consejo le darías a los docentes de América Latina para que apliquen, inspirados en tu historia, en lo que significó para vos ganar, para que podamos conocer muchas historias innovadoras de maestros?
Actually, I have seen great potential in Latin American teachers. So many teachers from Latin America, Brazil, or I forgot her name, Sandy from Latin America was among the top 50 finalists. And the top 10 finalists was also from one of the top 10 finalists from Brazil, who actually, So I know you all guys have the potential, you're a caliber, you're well deserved. My advice will be like, it's really tough competition to become, either being a top 50 finalist, then I mean top 10 and being a winner. But think of what exceptional quality you have, what makes you different from others, what makes you unique. Try to be true to your nature. Don't pretend. The way you are, just present, just write down what is it. Just be honest to your nature, and be innovative and creative while writing answers and other things. So I think this will help. And my best wishes for all the teachers from Latin America. I'll be more than happy to congratulate you on the, I don't know, it will be a virtual or the face-to-face event, but I'll be more than happy to see the next winner of Global Teacher Prize 2021. It would be from Latin America. My best wishes to you all.
Esa es la apuesta. Vos le tenés que pasar el premio a alguien de América Latina, que sabemos que hay muchos grandes maestros. Así que gracias por el aliento y ya queda ese desafío para nosotros. Te hago una última pregunta. Tenés un año intenso por delante, porque ser el ganador de este premio te requiere un montón de energía. Te vamos a invitar a muchísimos encuentros y esperamos que nos puedas visitar presencialmente en América Latina. ¿Qué desafíos tenés en tu escuela este año?
I think, this year I'm getting so many requests and I'm traveling a lot. So I'm just trying to find out few slots for my students where I could, meet them personally. COVID situation here in India is actually restricting me because my students are, very young students, just about 6 to 10 years old, and government hasn't opened schools for grade 1 to 4 yet. So until the schools will be are opened, I'm more or I can go everywhere. Once the schools are opened, it will be very difficult for me because if I have to travel, I'm forced to travel. Then government has to appoint extra teacher in my school to look after of my students and make sure that each and every student is learning in the absence of mine. But what I'm doing, I'm now setting my infrastructure in my school so that even though I'm traveling across the world, but still I can teach my students virtually. I'm just trying to set up infrastructure in my school and I'm receiving so many things for my schools. I'm very thankful to all the donors. So it will really, ultimately, it is helping me to set up the infrastructure in the school the way I want to teach my students, even in the absence of mine, in the physical absence in the schools, but virtually, I'm trying to teach them to manage each and everything. So it's a tricky job. I know I can manage these things.
Excelente, acá te estamos esperando con ansias. Los últimos ganadores del premio nos han visitado en América Latina, hemos recorrido muchísimos países, con lo cual esperamos tener esa suerte de conocerte personalmente, de poder conocer más de tu historia, pero sinceramente te queremos agradecer mucho, volver a felicitarte, agradecerte por la valentía de compartirlo, de compartir tu historia y de inspirarnos. Creo que nos diste un montón de ideas y fortaleciste esta esperanza en nosotros de que somos únicos, de que tenemos que compartir, de que podemos generar una cultura de confianza en nuestras escuelas. Y también me desafiaste un poco con esto de que no puedo hacer limonada si no tengo un cuchillo, pero nos deja ese aprendizaje y la idea, esta búsqueda de seguir siendo creativos para hacer lo que hacemos. Así que te agradecemos mucho, te mandamos un saludo muy especial de América Latina y te abrimos las puertas de nuestra región para que nos puedas visitar y conocer. Muchísimas gracias, despedimos
Yeah,
a...
I would like. Yeah, I would love to visit you and meet you, all the Latin American teachers and Augustine. Coming back to your answer of not being able to cut a lemon without a knife, just imagine, Augustine. I think if I could have answered your questions like 5 plus 7, what is it equal to 12? But if I could have written 13 or 14, you might have told me, Ranjit, this is wrong answer, right? So you cannot cut a lemon with the help of spoon. That's what I was talking about. So thank you so much. It was a really great experience with talking here on the virtual platform, and I'm looking forward to meet you all and share my journey and my passion with you also. All the teaching community, all the teachers in the teaching community in Latin America will be inspired. Looking forward to meet you all, guys. Bye.
Muchas gracias. Namaste. Y
Namaste. Gracias.
gracias. Excelente, Ranjit. Una alegría poder empezar este año de Comunidad Atenea con la presencia de Ranjit y con la presencia de todos ustedes. Muchas gracias por las preguntas. Y como compartimos hace un rato, mañana se abren las convocatorias para el Global Teacher Prize 2021 con algunas sorpresas. Así que los invitamos a estar atentos y a compartir esto con docentes de toda nuestra región, porque como decía Ranjit, nos encantaría tener un ganador de América Latina y seguir conociendo historias que nos inspiren y que nos ayuden a ser mejores. Muchísimas gracias, sigan conectados que vamos a estar en contacto.